Hey guys, today we're gonna do the 32 things that I've learned in 32 years. This was a video request from someone. I don't remember exactly. I think it was like one of my first few videos that I posted, and someone requested it, said, Jack, why don't you do 32 things that you learned in 32 years? So I went through all my book notes, and this video took me a really long time to come up with, and I actually came up with 56 things. And right now we're just gonna do 32 of them. It's not the top 32 or anything. In fact, I think the other 24 that are missing from this list are more important, but some of them are more important. I mean, it's not in any order, but I'm gonna do a video, a second part to this video called 24 more things that I learned in 32 years to cover the rest of that. But for now, we're gonna go over these 32 things. Super important, some of the most important things I've learned in my life for the first 32 years. And so look forward for that part two as well, because it's going to be some super, both of these are going to be really interesting. And let me know what you guys think of this format. I'm trying to do this whiteboard here. I had to figure out the lighting. I know you guys can't see it that well because there's 32 things up here. I have to write them really small. But usually what I'll do is I'll use the whiteboard and I'll write them bigger so you guys can see what I'm talking about, so you guys can read it and hear it. So I'm going to go through them. Some of them I'll delve deeper into, and some of them I'll just read through really quickly. Some of them I think deserve a little bit more attention, so I'll just talk about them for a second. Anyways, so let's jump right into it. So number one is hold your values lightly, but pursue them vigorously. I love that one. Hold them lightly, because when you hold them too tight, it brings about anxiety. So just kind of step back a little bit and hold them more light. Number two, continuous learning is the key to success. I love this one. I read this one in almost every single book that I've ever read. Continuous learning is the key to success. And some people think you can learn a little bit and then you stop, but you can't really stop. It's continuous learning. It never ends. It's not like you read like 10 books and then you're done. You want to read like 10 books every few months for the rest of your life. Like you want to get into a habit where you're reading like at least 1 to 5 books every single month. Next one is ideas are nothing at all without execution. I love this one because so many people have these great ideas, but what do your ideas mean if you're not taking any action on it? They're absolutely worthless. Like, you can have the greatest idea in the world and pride yourself on that, but in reality, there's nothing to it if you're not executing it. Next one, I absolutely love this one actually. To live, I'm gonna say that about basically all of these. To live unlike everyone else, you must do things that everyone else won't. So if you wanna live a big, lavish lifestyle, if you wanna be really successful, you have to be willing to do those things that not everyone else is willing to do. So let me give you an example. I guess for poker, it would be, are you willing to study GTO for an hour or two every single day, continuously? Are you willing to grind 10 hours per day, 12 hours per day, every single day while your friends are going out partying? Like, are you willing to make those sacrifices? The things that other people are not willing to do. Are you willing to do those things? Or it's not only relates to poker, it's with everything. Right? People that are willing to make more sacrifices and putting more time and effort studying their craft and perfecting their craft are going to get ahead. And the people, the 98 or 99% of the population that wants to, maybe watch TV or just do a whole bunch of nothing with their time or waste a lot of time, then you're just going to be pretty average, and that's not what you want to be. Anyways, number 5, surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you. I love this one. So not everyone you surround yourself with should inspire you and challenge you, but there should be a lot of people in your life that inspire you and challenge you, that when you're around them, you kind of have this need, like you want to level up, you want to measure up, and you want to make it so that every time you see this person, this is one of my goals with the YouTube videos. Every time you guys watch a video of mine, I want you guys to be challenged to take your life to the next level. Like, think to yourself, like, what can I do to level up? Like, how can I be more? How can I implement these things Jack is talking about here? Next one, when you believe I can do it, the how to do it develops. Beliefs are just some of the most important things ever, to be honest. If you believe you can do it, then your mind is going to start going to work for you, and it's going to figure out ways to actually do it. Next one, take action to approach your fears one step at a time, but never avoid them. Absolutely love this. Obviously, I have a video just dedicated on this. How to Overcome Fear, I think, is the title of it. And it talks about, like, if you have some fears, go watch that video. It talks about if you avoid your fears, they're going to get bigger and bigger. You're going to manifest them. You're kind of burning the fire. You're going to make them more. You need to attack them one step at a time. You don't have to go all the way in to the deep end at first. You just got to go one small step at a time, as long as you're moving towards conquering that fear. Do something out of your comfort zone every single day. Another thing that I read in so many books, and so many people are like, yeah, do something out of your comfort zone every single day. That makes sense. I love it. But are you executing that? If you're watching this video, ask yourself, are you actually executing that? Are you doing something out of your comfort zone every single day? If you're not, then start doing it. Like, what are some things that could be, out of your comfort zone? You can, go talk to random people on the street. That's something uncomfortable that you might want to do. Maybe it's comfortable for you, maybe it's not. Like for me, when I'm going up the elevator over here, so something I'd like to practice is I just open a conversation with anybody that's in the elevator, just to kind of get the ball rolling with that. Or if you see, like, anytime you have like this uncomfort inside your body towards doing something, you need to do that thing every single time. Embrace living uncomfortable to attain a life that is genuinely comfortable, not deceptively comfortable. This one is really interesting. So what it's basically trying to say is you need to embrace living uncomfortable now, so that eventually your comfort zone expands in such a way that your entire life is comfortable. But some people live comfortable now, okay? But the problem with that, it's not actual comfort, it's deceptive comfort, because you're only comfortable in your little bubble, in your little small circle of comfort zone in here. But if you step outside of your little circle of comfort zone, you're not comfortable anymore. In fact, you're very uncomfortable. And that's where you want to expand that circle and make it so that it covers all ground, so that now the entire world is your comfort zone. Everything is comfortable for you after you've went through that initial discomfort and expanded that and grown yourself. So the next one, meditation is about stopping and being present. That is all. I should make a separate video about meditation. I've read a lot of books just on meditation, and literally that's it. One of the biggest rules in meditation is don't ever judge your meditation. You need to just stop, breathe, and be present. Just be aware of any thoughts that come to mind. Be aware of your breathing. And just, that's it. That's literally it. It's very simple. Deliberate practice is uncomfortable. That's why most people don't do it. You have to push past this. I love this one. When you deliberately practice something, it's gonna be uncomfortable. I'll come up with another poker example here. When you're studying Insta-GTO, any kind of GTO, after a while, like after you study for like an hour, it's uncomfortable. Your brain gets tired. It doesn't want to do it anymore. And most people just stop right there, but you need to push past that. It's like a muscle. When you're trying to build your biceps, you're doing it to the point of discomfort, and you're trying to push past that as much as possible. Same thing with your brain. Just because you feel a little bit of discomfort, or even like a medium amount of discomfort, it doesn't necessarily mean you should stop. You should continue going and expand your brain muscle. So don't stop when you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, or like, I don't feel like doing it. That's not a reason to stop, really. And if you think that's a reason to stop, read David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. That'll fix that. Courage is not fearlessness. Courage is learning to cope with fear. Feeling the fear, but doing it anyways. I love this, and Nelson Mandela talks about this in his book, about courage is just an act. Like, anybody can act in a courageous manner. It doesn't mean you're fearless. He said he was so scared so many times in his life, but he just acted in a courageous manner. And that's what it is. Courage is an act, not a feeling. Replace all your worries with strategic action. I've actually got a book coming out about this. Replace all your worries with strategic action. An entire book, not only based on this, but it's based on like this, and this is going to be one of the core ideas of it, is replace all your worries with strategic action. So really think about that. I'll give you a couple of examples. Let's go to poker, obviously, because I love talking about poker. So what is your worries with poker? Let's say one of your worries is, I'm worried that I can't make enough money. How can you replace that with a strategic action? Let's see here. Study poker, grind more hours. That's the strategic action behind that. Instead of sitting and worrying, right? Let me give you another example. Let's say you're with a girl, and let's say you're with a girlfriend, and you're worried that she's gonna leave you, okay? Or let's say you're a girl and you're with a boyfriend and you're worried that he's gonna leave you, okay? Either way. So you have this worry, you need to replace it with a strategic action. As a man, you need to figure out, like, how can I fulfill her needs more? Like, how can I be a better boyfriend to her? And that's gonna keep her to stay. So replace that worry with a strategic action you can do. Why don't you read a book about how to be a better man? Or if you're a girl, do the same, but the opposite. So every worry you have in your life, no matter what it is, let's say you're worried about your health. You're worried about, am I gonna get fat or am I gonna get sick? What is the strategic action you can replace that worry with? Eat a lot healthier. If you're worried about getting fat, the strategic action is go to the gym, run on the treadmill, and eat a lot healthier. There's always a strategic action that's gonna replace your worries. So always keep that in mind. Every time you're worried about something, think to yourself, what strategic action can I take to alleviate this worry here? Next one. Every day is a new day for a wise man. Focus on what you can do today. Every day is a new day to a wise man. Focus on what you can do today. I love that. So it's just like the past is just the past. Don't ever get caught up in it. Every day is brand new. You can rebuild your life. Every single day is a chance for you to kind of get towards your goals and your dreams and your aspirations. And what you did yesterday or who you were yesterday doesn't matter. You can start to rebuild immediately. Learn to relax and rest before you get tired. So this one's a little bit contradicting to the one that says push past your brain power, your brain discomfort, but this one is also important because you want to push past your brain discomfort, but at the same time, you don't want to push too far to the point where you're just like fucking like absolutely on your deathbed. I'm guilty of this, doing this all the time. I push myself to burnouts every single night. I push myself past like every single fucking night. I'm going like past where I thought I could humanly fucking go, to be honest, like with my grind, with my studying, with catching up with Skype and all these different things that I have going on, and I still try to make YouTube content. And so there's a time where you need to say, like, you know what, I need to take a day off. And this is for like, this one is specifically for those guys who are extremely hard workers and extremely ambitious. Sometimes you need to just be like, you know what, let me take a little mini vacation. Let me get away. Let me calm down for a little bit. And then I'm going to refuel so that I can get back and absolutely destroy it again. Live each moment completely as if you were facing death. This one is easier said than done. So what this message is saying is don't take any moments for granted. We take so much of our life for granted. So many of these little beautiful moments in life we take for granted. And what this message is trying to say is be more present and be more aware of everything that's going on in your life. Be more appreciative. Be more grateful for every moment in your life because you're never going to get that moment back. Cut out anxiety by focusing on your progress. I love this one. So anxiety is rooted from us focusing on things that we don't have in our life so far yet. Let's say you're starting a business, okay? let's say you're starting a business and you're focusing on like, when am I going to get this business to make $10,000 a month? And you're focusing on that area which you don't have yet. You're like, I'm focusing on how am I going to get this to make $10,000 a month? That's going to manifest anxiety inside yourself. Instead, what you can do is focus on the progress that you've already made, and that's going to cut out the anxiety. What do I mean by that? Let's say you already have a website for your business. Let's say you already got maybe a potential customer. Even if it's like you're making $200 a month, you've made progress because before you were making zero. So focus on where you have already made progress on, instead of focusing on what you don't have and what you're shooting for, but what you don't have in your life right now. Focus on how far you've came. And I'm sure if you focus there, you're going to start to feel a lot better, and it's going to cut that anxiety out. To find happiness, adjust your perspective and notice the positive things that are already there. To find happiness, adjust your perspective and notice the positive things that are already there. This goes back to the last point there. You need to find the happiness, you need to focus on the things that you already have in your life that you might be taking for granted. I bet there's things that every single person that watches this video, there are things in your life that are already in your life that you're taking for granted. I can say that, for every single human watching this video, including myself, there's some things that I take for granted sometimes. And there is definitely some things, if you think about it, in your life that you're like, you know what, like I can appreciate and be grateful for this even more, and bring about joy inside my body just thinking about that. So instead of focusing on all the shit that you're kind of going after, which is great, you should be focused on your goals and your aspirations and doing things to get you there, but you should also focus on the things that you already have, that you're kind of like, you don't think about that much, to really bring about that feeling of joy and happiness. A great mentor is absolutely crucial to your success. You need a mentor. There's not really much more to say about that. A mentor, somebody that can show you the ropes, somebody that's been there already, somebody that can give you great advice when you need it. Very important. When you make a decision, then burn the boats and don't have a plan B. Give plan A 1000%. I love it. Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about this in his book and some interviews. And because if you have a plan B, you're like, some people, this is a great one to talk about poker with. Some people are playing poker, but then they have a plan B. Oh, if poker doesn't work out, then I'll do this. And the problem with that, there's a big problem with that, is because that fallback in your mind is holding you back from going balls deep and going all in on poker and really burning the bridges and leaving yourself no way out, where you're just like, I'm gonna make this work no matter what. It's about making it an absolute must. If you have a backup plan, you're thinking now like, oh, if it doesn't work, I'll just do my backup plan. I don't need to work that hard in poker. Like I'll just go with my backup plan. So it's always there lingering in your mind, kind of taking away from your focus. You need to burn the bridges and just go absolutely all in on whatever you decide to go all in on. Every person you meet wants to feel important and significant. They crave approval, so give it to them. Every person you meet wants to be important and significant. When you meet somebody, the best thing you can do is really highlight their accomplishments, make them feel special about themselves in a very genuine way, though. You don't want to blow smoke up people's asses and start lying, because then you're crossing the line of being a people pleaser. Then you're just not trustworthy. You want to be honest and sincere with your compliments, but focus on their accomplishments, because that's what's going to make them feel better, and that's what's going to make them like you. Actually, let them know, like, I really like the way you do this, this, and that, and really focus on them. Whatever you believe you are is what you become. Whatever you believe you are is what you become. Whatever you strongly believe inside your body, whatever you label yourself with, whenever you say, I am blank, that's going to be your truth. That's going to be who you are. So be careful the way you talk to yourself about yourself. What matters most is not what we achieve, but the person we become in the process. Absolutely love this one. So what matters most is not what we achieve, even though at first we do it for achievement. We're like, let's say, for example, we got a goal, like I want to make X amount of money. And the end goal is not the most important thing, but the most important thing is who you become in the process of achieving that goal. So what does that mean? You might become, like for me, on the process of achieving my goals, I became an avid reader, and I absorb information, and I look for any information I can. And I feel like I became such a better human being through this process. And I'm sure some of you guys can relate if you guys are achieving goals and you never stop and think like, wow, I became such a better man or such a better woman in the process of achieving my goals, because you're forced to. If you want to achieve your big goals, you're gonna have to be forced to become a better human, a better learner, a better studier, somebody that is more efficient with their time. So you become this whole different person, and it's incredible. What people need to feel that their knowledge is valued, otherwise they will be angry and upset with you. Be mindful of this. This is something we got to be mindful of, because sometimes people will have opinions or thoughts, and you got to be careful to not shoot them down and be like, no, that's wrong, even though sometimes it is wrong. Sometimes people say shit that's completely off, or sometimes it's completely wrong, but you need to let them know, like, you need to portray that, like, listen, like, I value your opinion, I respect you, but this is, I think, I see it this way, okay? Not instead of like, oh man, you're an idiot, what are you talking about, right? Because then people are gonna be angry and upset with you. You need to first tell them, like, you're usually right about a lot of shit, but this is the way I see this. So like kind of soften it a little bit, because people want and need to feel like their opinions are valued, because otherwise they're gonna be resentful of you. They're just not gonna like you as a person. So be careful of that, be mindful. Only believe in things that will empower you. This is a very straightforward one. Some of us have some disempowering beliefs. Everyone has a little bit of disempowering beliefs. You wanna completely get rid of those. Only believe in things that are gonna move you forward in life. Never, like I said, I think I've mentioned this in a video before. When you say I am, never attach a word to that is disempowering or is negative in any way. I am always has to be attached to something positive. Be very careful with the way you talk to yourself inside your own mind. That's very important. Change your focus from what I can get to what I can give. So we want to focus on what can I give of value instead of what I can get. So many people are focused on, especially in relationships, this is a big one, where people are like, what can I get from this person? That's not really the way you want to come at it. You need to come at it with like, what can I give? Because when you give, it's the law of reciprocity. Like usually people are going to want to give back to you once you start giving. So you want to give as much as you can in just everything. Just focus on what I can give, like to your friendships, to any relationships. What can I give? How can I give this person a feeling of significance? Give them a feeling of empowerment. Like how can I leave them better off than when I saw them before? Let's say you're hanging out with somebody. You want them to have a positive and happy and joyful association with you. Whereas like every time I hang out with Jack, I just fucking feel better. He makes me feel good about myself. That's where you want to be. Focus, I love this one. I love this one here. I love this one. Focus on being interested instead of interesting, okay? Focus on being interested instead of interesting. I think I have another note in here that's gonna follow up on it, so let me check if I do. If not, I'm gonna get further into this one. Let me see. Okay, so it's not here. So focus on being interested instead of interesting. So I want to delve deeper into this one, because this one is like, if you guys made it this far, this is one of the most important ones. There's a book that has a line that says, such a powerful line to think about. It says, nothing you say to someone can be even half as important to them as the things they are dying to tell you about themselves. Okay, let that sink in. Nothing you say to someone will be half as important as the things they are dying to tell you about themselves. So focus on being interested in them instead of being an interesting person. Focus on listening and being curious to what they're doing and saying. This is something I can work on myself too. It's something I've been working on for the last few years, is being more interested. That's a better and more efficient way to get people to want to hang out with you, want to spend time with you, is be interested in them instead of being interesting. Don't focus so much on being interesting yourself. Be interested. If you got nothing from this video, take that one. That's a powerful one. Find people that push you and inspire you to be better in every aspect of life. There was one that was similar to this one. Find people that can push you and inspire you to be better in every aspect of life. The kind of guys that when you meet them, like there's somebody I watch on YouTube, he talks about this, where he says, like, there's your friends that you can kind of like sit back and just like do a whole bunch of nothing with, just like order food and just kind of like lax out and just do nothing. And that's totally cool. You should have friends like that, where you can kind of like lean back and just kind of like let loose. But then also you need to have friends in your life where when they're coming over to your place, you clean up and you try to portray yourself. You bring your best self every time you meet this person, every time you see this person, because you're trying to level up with them. You need those kind of friends too. And then the friends where you're just kind of like, you're in your pajamas, you're like, fuck everything, like let's just hang out and like do whatever, right? So you want to have a little bit of both. You need those friends that kind of like push you, and they're going to ask you those questions like what are you doing with your life? Like what kind of hobbies are, like the kind of guys that you're going to want to prove yourself to, let's call it. You need those. You can remember anything if you repeat it enough times. Take notes and revisit the notes every week or every month to condition your mind. Anything can be remembered if you repeat it enough times. So just basically what I do is every month I revisit my notes, and it takes me, hours to get through them. And I revisit my notes and I read through them because I'm trying to condition my mind. If you don't actively and deliberately condition your mind with things that you want to be in your mind, then your mind is going to be conditioned by just random shit that media is portraying and all these different things. So you want to get to that point where you are very conscious of what you're putting inside your mind. And like a lot of times I hear people like, oh, I already know that stuff. Like that knowing is not going to cut it. You need to hear it so many times that it becomes a part of your fucking soul. Like some people ask me like, Jack, how do you have all this knowledge that you like share with us in these YouTube videos? It's because of this. It's because I conditioned this into my soul. Like I'm not naturally like this fucking, Buddha-like character. I just read a lot of books and I absorb a lot of information, and I continuously, every single month, I revisit. I watch the same things over and over and over again. I listen to books that teach similar concepts with different words, and I'm so familiar with these topics now that I can teach them. And when you teach them, that's another one. When you teach something, you get that much better at absorbing. Like when you're teaching something, that's one of the most powerful ways to really internalize the information that you're learning, is when you start teaching it. So that's one of the strong reasons why I do these YouTube videos, is not only for you guys, but when you teach, this goes for anyone, not just me. When you teach something, then you become better at it yourself. You're almost teaching yourself while you're teaching others as well. So that's important to keep in mind as well. Only focus on and entertain thoughts that align with your highest self. Let go of the rest. Only entertain and focus on thoughts that align with your highest self. What does that mean? The best version of yourself. Who does that guy think of? Think about yourself. Being the absolute fittest you can be, the healthiest you could be, the most successful that you're humanly capable of becoming in your field. How would that person think? And only align thoughts with that human that you strive to be. It's still you, but it's the absolute best version of myself. Let me give you an example. There's a version of myself in a different lifetime on a different planet that might be 250 pounds. Like, I'm fat as hell. You know, I don't take care of myself. I don't create YouTube content. You know, I'm playing, you know, $3 games at poker instead of, you know, 1Ks. And that is a version of myself that exists. Like, that could have been, if I had terrible habits, terrible daily habits, that could be me, right? So you want to be the absolute best that you're capable of becoming. And obviously there are some limits to that, but it's a lot more limitless than people think. Whatever you believe, you will find that you are correct. I love that one. Beliefs, like I said, is one of the most important things that I've ever learned, is to be conscious of your beliefs, because they dictate all your actions in life. Like, it's insane. Like, if you really pile down, go deep into it, beliefs are like the number one thing. Like, if you strongly believe you're a loser, I will guarantee you are a loser. It's really that simple. You believe you're a loser, you're a loser. If you believe that you're an outgoing person, like you have a strong belief for that, then you're an outgoing person. It's really that fucking simple. Meaningful work. Last one here. If you guys stuck around, if you guys are here for this last one here, give me a fuck yes in the comments down below. Just like in that, we did this in my life story one. This is going to be a similar time frame too. We're about 32 minutes in here. It's going to be about, you know, a couple more minutes longer. But give me a fuck yes in the comments if you made it this far. Only if you watched the entire thing and you made it this far. Also let me know, like, what's the biggest thing that kind of stands out at you from this video? Like, what's the biggest takeaway before I get into this last one? What is the biggest takeaway that you took from this video where you're just like, I know there's a lot. This video is fucking jammed with information. You can come back to this one, watch it as many times as you want. The next video is going to be awesome too, the 24 more things that I learned in 32 years. But let me know, what's like the biggest thing what like resonated with you, where you're just like, wow, like I need to do more of that, or I never thought of it that way. Let me know in the comments. Last one here. Pause the video if you have to let me know in the comments. Last one here. Meaningful work and relationships is more important than money. And this is one of the biggest takeaways I took from Ray Dalio's book, Principles, where he talks about how meaningful work and relationships are more important than money, okay? And we lose sight of this sometimes on the chase for money. But if you have great friends, great loyal friends that you really love spending time with, and you really find passion in what you do for a living, and you can enjoy the process, then that's way more important than any kind of money you can make. And that's not to say that money is not important, because it definitely is. Like, I watched some guys on YouTube, one guy in particular, he talks about money in the sense that money will not bring you happiness in itself. It won't. I have a video about this actually as well. But money won't bring you happiness in itself. It won't. But he says, I've been happy broke and I've been happy rich. And happy rich is way fucking better. So you should definitely strive to make some money. Guaranteed. I am not, trust me, like I am never going to talk shit about money ever, because I love money, obviously. But it's not as important as some people think, and it's more important than other people think. It's kind of interesting here. Some people think money is far more important than it is, and then there are some people that think it's not important at all, and those people are wrong too. It's somewhere in between there. So anyways, let me know what you guys think of this format with the whiteboard. I'm probably going to produce some more videos with the whiteboard. I have to I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but I have to make sure like the lighting is because there's so much fucking glare. Like when I open the shades, I close the shades now and I open all the lights up here, but there's I gotta position the lamps because otherwise there's glare on this fucking on this whiteboard. You can still see glare, like right here. If you look right here, where is it? No, I'm pointing in the wrong area. Right here. Right here. You see this line right here, that white line? That's the light coming in from the shades. And then like on this end, where is it? No, this way. Okay. It's the opposite way. This line here, you see it? The little white line? That's the glare coming from my closed shades. And then there's a lamp right behind here. When I turn that one on, then there's even more glare, so you guys can't see anything. But in future videos, you guys will be able to see a little bit more of this, because I'm gonna be writing bigger, because I won't have 32 things to list out to write, because that's why it's all fucking small. But usually I'm gonna be writing bigger. Anyways, thanks for sticking around all the way. And whoever, I'm gonna check now, like I'm actually gonna go on YouTube and check now who was the one that asked for this video. And yeah, I mean, this video is for you and everyone else who enjoyed it. So take care, and I'll see you guys next time.